No, 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 no.
Trump supporters are now attacking Joe Biden and making conspiracy theories about his cancer diagnosis.
All right, I saw this and had to jump on and respond. First of all, anybody who makes fun of somebody who got cancer is disgusting. You have no moral compass whatsoever if you would say that about people. Now let's address the real reason why I did this video. I think it's fine for you, Harry, to call out people and say it's disgusting the way they're responding to somebody getting cancer. But what's interesting is that not one time after Donald Trump was nearly assassinated, not one time after Donald Trump has been threatened by the hundreds of thousands of your supporters saying that they're going to do something to him or they hope something happens to him or 8647 or it is going to happen, which we hear so frequently from all of your followers, all your party. You say zero. You have no response. You don't even address it. You act like it doesn't exist, when in fact there's a huge swath of people on your side doing this. The double standards with you. You come on here and you go, Trump supporters, Trump supporters, Trump supporters. What about all the people on your side who told everyone Biden was fine, leave him alone, when the signs of decline were clearly there? They're just using him to try to win an election. You guys said nothing. So when you come on here and I hear Trump supporters, it just proves to me that all you care about is politics. You don't care about anybody's life. You don't care about anything else. So if anything's disgusting, honestly, it's you using this for a political play. Sure, call those people out, but call everyone out. Life should be more valuable to you than just a two-party system. Get a grip, guy. Okay, bye-bye.
New Republican tax bill just dropped.
And we both know you didn't read the bill. But let's see what you had to say about it.
It doesn't include no tax on tips.
Page 23. No tax on tips.
It doesn't include no tax on overtime.
Page 32. No tax on overtime.
Lowers the taxes of the 1%, the lowest that it's ever been in American history.
Can you show me where in the 389 pages it says that? I'll wait. You know, you could have just read the bill instead of making yourself look incredibly whatever that was.
Republican tax bill just dropped. It lowers the taxes of the 1%, the lowest that it's ever been in American history. It doesn't include no tax on tips. It doesn't include no income tax. It doesn't include no tax on overtime. You fucking idiots fell for all of it. I love you, Donald Trump. We love you, Donald Trump. Yeah, you fucking loser.
It has to be absolutely positively exhausting being you, Chris. There's no way on God's green earth anyone, and I mean anyone, could go around being wrong almost all of the time. You were legitimately 1 for 3 on this. The only thing you got right was the, no income tax, which that would take earth being moved by God to do, because you know anything about that. You are a historian, right? You know anything about that Federal Reserve Act or the 16th Amendment? Or do you know anything about, Pollock v. Farmer, the Supreme Court case that said income taxes were, unconstitutional, and it took the Federal Reserve Act to move that out of the way so that they could implement them? Yeah, it's going to be a lot more to get that in place than the other two things that you were completely wrong about. I couldn't imagine being you. I wouldn't want to be. Maybe you should try, becoming a personal trainer or a fitness instructor or a life coach on how to be wrong.
Conservatives are trying to pass a bill that says that if your name on your driver's license is different than it is on your birth certificate, you can be denied voting in the...
You can't get anything without showing some type of identification, and it's to prevent voter fraud.
This is literally just specifically targeting women.
Girl, that's a f***ing reach.
Oh, we're divorced. You have your marriage license.
As if you don't get a whole damn packet from the court. It's thick too, but it comes in an envelope like this.
Same. But then they're also expected to do all of the work of proving that they're actually a person, to get a driver's license, to get a passport, to get a f***ing voting card. So many women can't afford passports. And so much, all this paperwork is hard to hold on to. It's hard to know what you need. It's just the freaking headache of all of this falling on women, and women being expected to fit the system instead of the system changed for women, is ridiculous.
if professional victim was a person, you would be it. We're one of those women that's like, oh my goodness, let's empower women, but then simultaneously, women, you're too dumb. You guys don't have careers, you don't have money, you definitely don't have a passport because you don't travel, and you're so unorganized that you would have no idea how to have all of these documents in one little place and keep track of them. Girl, the liberal fatigue. Shut up already.
He signed an executive order that makes it legal to discriminate against LGBTQ plus people in housing and employment. So with just that one example, you are easily proven wrong.
Hey bud, what you're actually referring to with the housing would be the federally funded housing programs that are segregated on the basis of sex. For example, women's only homeless shelters or domestic violence shelters for women. Meaning that biological men are not allowed in these shelters with extremely vulnerable women. Under the Federal Housing Act, it is still very much illegal to deny someone housing, whether that be renting, financing, or purchasing, on the basis of sex or sexual orientation. Your statement was very misleading. Now, what you're referring to with employment is the removal of affirmative action, which forced companies to meet specific diversity quotas. The removal of this allows companies to hire based on someone's qualifications rather than the color of their skin or their sexual orientation, as it should be. The removal of mandatory diversity quotas does not permit discrimination in hiring practices. That is still federally illegal, as can be found in Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Again, just very misleading. Listen, if you're going to complain about something, at least find something real to complain about.
Harry, out of all people, how did I know you were going to be the one to make a video about this?
So that was a religious event that took place at the White House the other day.
Oh no, a religious event!
Specifically for Trump administration staff. And,
God forbid they do a little worship. I think this country could use it. Maybe you should try it.
it's so crazy to me how
This man could literally cure cancer, and you would be like, Donald Trump, this piece of shit.
these people can stand in there, sing all these religious songs that often talk about caring for other people.
Oh boy, here we go.
And then they do things like defunding cancer research for children.
That's wrong. And you just got fact-checked by Homeland Security on your last post, so I don't think you got a lot of room to talk.
Or cutting programs that people rely on, or deporting people without due process. Like,
How many times we gotta tell you guys that 2 judges were like, hey bro, it's time for you to go back to your country? What due process? Why do they deserve due process in the first place? They weren't supposed to be here from the beginning.
do any of those things embody the teachings of the religions that they proclaim to love?
Whoa, 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 tummy stick master. Let's take a step back. Our side supports Muslims. Fully. Like, loves them to death. Even though they destroy women. They don't respect women. They beat women. When was the last time the Democratic Party voted to protect women in sports? I'm just curious.
Like, they do that. They sing these religious songs in the White House. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is
You really love saying his name, don't you?
supporting children, U.S. citizens, who have cancer.
Oh, this is getting old. The mother took the child back to her country. Move on.
I just find this hypocrisy.
Harry, let's be real here. Hypocrisy? Come on.
Can someone explain this to me? Why is it that Democrats care more about due process for people leaving the country than they do about people coming into the country? It just seems like if you'd be worried about due process to protect people, then you would also be worried about protecting people like Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungaray.
It would just be really nice
If you'd stop spreading misinformation and liberal propaganda?
if Republicans, specifically Trump supporters,
Well, I'm glad you clarified, because for a moment I thought you were going to say Trump-hating Republicans, so... Whew.
learn about the document that governs this country.
Oh! You must be referring to the Constitution, where conservatives tend to be a tad bit more of the originalists, whereas liberals seem to be all over the fucking map. Just kind of depends on which way the wind blows.
They always scream about the Constitution this, the Constitution that, and then when it comes time to enforce the Constitution for someone they don't like, it goes out the window for them.
You mean like how liberals are constantly trying to get rid of the Second Amendment? And the First Amendment. See, you guys censor conservatives because you don't like our message because our words are dangerous. Oh no, he said words. What could happen?
Just take this immigration saga right now with Abrego Garcia and Donald Trump.
So you keep screaming, due process, due process. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he had been seen by 2 judges who both agreed that his status in here was illegal. And by the way, I'm a firm believer that if you come here illegally, the only option is for you to go back. See, if you want to come to the United States, just do it the right way. It's so simple. Now, I understand the process is complicated and takes forever, and the process does need to be fine-tuned. I will admit. That does not mean you get to cut in front of line just because you're eager. Well, so are the rest of the folks in line. Air Bear, I want you to do a little experiment for me. Next time you go to the DMV, when someone else's number is called, I want you to just jump in front of the line and head straight to the window and be like, no. You see, you don't understand. This is urgent. Go have a seat.
Hey MAGA, did you notice what wasn't on Donnie's big beautiful bill? The no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. Yeah, they didn't put any of that in there, did they? Just like he promised you. But you know what is in there? Tax breaks for the ultra wealthy.
Oh, so we're lying now. Okay, here, let's go real quick. Here's the bill, and oh my god, it's literally on the first fucking page. Jarvis, zoom in on this man's impending fucking failure. Section 11001, no tax on tips. Section 10102, no tax on overtime.
Y'all remember this? In 2008, I voted for Barack Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. I voted for him. Why? Well, identity politics. Plus, I was dating a white girl, living with her. Her name was Lisa Brock. And Lisa Brock loved Barack Obama. Loved black guys. And the only reason why she dated me is because the diversity. Anyway, Barack Obama had one of these. Always on it. The BlackBerry. I think this is the BlackBerry. It looked like this. But yeah, this is how he was tweeting. He was tweeting. This is all he did right here. And then when he became president, he had to give up the BlackBerry and let someone else do his talking for him. Reason why I say that, guys, I listened to the white girl. I listened to Lisa Brock, who told me I needed to vote for Barack Obama. She told me who I had to go choose, right? She told me that because based on her opinion, my politics at that point was very fickle. Coming in 2025, I feel like my stance on politics has gotten stronger in the sense that I'm awake. I'm not letting other people tell me how to think. I'm using common sense. Like, for me, common sense is let children grow up and develop into into adults. Let them live their lives as children and become adults. As adults, we need to help raise these children, help guide them in a path where we would want them to do good for themselves. Help guide them in a path to where they become, good citizens of our society. To me, that's common sense. To me, it's also common courtesy. And I've always said that common sense and common courtesy would help make America great again. Now, I say that now my politics is stronger and not as fickle as back in 2008 because I've woken up, I'm using my common sense and looking at how things are going. And when you follow people like Harry Sisson, right? These influencers. I don't consider myself an influencer. Yeah, I make content, whatever, but it doesn't make you an influencer. But influencers like Harry Sisson, they get paid. They get paid through TikTok. He might get paid through Instagram, Facebook. But he also gets paid by the Democratic Party, the DNC. So, you can listen to him all you want, I'm not telling you to listen to him or not to listen to him. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is this. Think for yourself. I'm telling you, think for yourself. Don't allow other people to influence you. Now, if you're lazy, that's a different situation, guys. That's a different situation. If you're lazy, if you don't want to get into politics, then don't. Right? You can live your life without having to jump into politics. But if you are going to get into politics, again, I encourage you. I'm not influencing you. I'm encouraging you to be a free thinker. Think for yourself. Take a little bit of here, take a little bit of here, put it together, and create your own opinion. I encourage you to do that. Now, these bills that came out, these bills can be like 100, 200, 300 pages long. A lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to read through the whole thing. But it's a different situation when what you're saying is not on this bill ends up being on the front page or the first page of the bill. Right? If you're looking at, a lot of these bills have glossaries. You can look in the glossary or the index and see where to find, X, Y, and Z. And a lot of these influencers apparently didn't read even the first page. And that's what I'm saying. Take a little bit here and take a little here, put it together, create your own opinion. But don't look at, again, Harry Sisson. I don't even know the names of these other two guys. But don't look at them like, they didn't put it in the bill. No tax on tips. Each person that has corrected them has said it's on the first page. And then the young lady talking about it's difficult for women to get a passport. It's $130 for a passport. I did it. I did it in June. When did I do it? I did it in May. And then I got it within the first week of June. And then June 19th, I flew to the Philippines and buried my dad's ashes. So in about 2 weeks it took for me to get my passport. I just had to fill out the paperwork. You got to go to the website, and then you take it to the nearest post office where they'll process your paperwork, take your picture. What else? And then they need a copy of your birth certificate to say that you're born in the United States. That's all. And it's $130 for the actual passport book. That way you can fly to different places all around the world. And another $30 if you want the little card. And then the card, it's like your license, right? You can cross the border into Canada or cross the border into Mexico. And when I go to Mexicali with my boy Luis, I take my card. Plain and simple, guys. Nothing to it. So I don't know why people have to make things so complicated. But at the end of the day, think for yourself. I encourage you to do your own research on things. I encourage you to be a free thinker and create your own opinion. It's your boy King Chiro. Thank you for watching. Remember that you're loved, and remember to be great every day, because tomorrow is never promised. And that's why you need to think for yourself and don't let anyone influence you, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are wrong. Peace out, y'all.
Every day you wake up, you got a decision to make. To go right or left, up or down, right or wrong. At the end of the day, you make the decision. Nobody forces you. So make the right decision. Make moves, set the goals. Stop making excuses, man. And if it look like a duck, walk like a duck, and sound like a duck, it's a duck. Stop guessing. Just do the right thing. You heard? You hear me? I love y'all. Stay positive. Love one another.
All right.
CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister. In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president? Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information?
The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014, during the Obama administration. In November 2019, Newsweek falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops. Good morning. CBS aired a story in March of 2020 supposedly showing a New York hospital crowded with patients.
It's all hands on deck in America's hospitals.
It was actually file tape from Italy. A week later, CBS News mistakenly used the Italy video again. In May, the BBC and The Guardian reported because Trump wasn't wearing headsets, he didn't bother to listen to the translation of a speech by Italy's prime minister.
Per lo sviluppo dell'Africa.
But Trump was wearing his earpiece in his right ear, as always, said the White House. Newsweek reported Poland's first lady refused to shake Trump's hand, but later acknowledged she did.